like it. Okay. So we're live now, and we've got Josh Hayden with us. For those who don't know, Josh is an EBI vet. He won ADCC in 2013, and he also went to China and competed in the Abu Dhabi Championship. So, Josh, first of all, thanks for coming on here. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. Had to put my kids through a workout this morning.
Dude, we're gonna have to do that tonight. Our kids are wound up already. I literally just got home from picking them up. um, man, it's crazy because training with you is cool as shit, and sitting here reading off your credentials, it's just mind blowing. I guess the first thing I kind of want to touch on is like your beginnings. You come into jiu-jitsu off of a football injury, right? You sitting out a season, want something to do.
Well, actually, no. It was.
No.
I mean that's similar to what happened, but like it was kind of like a career-ending injury. I fucked up my ankle really bad, and pretty much the doctor reports that I wasn't going to be able to play football anymore. So I tried to come back, and they pretty much they just cut my scholarship, sent me home. It was I was non-essential.
Well, after that, you got into it. Was it Troy or Jason that got you into it? Was it Jason?
Yeah, it was Jason. It was a fun story on what happened, how that happened. So,
all right, you want to get into that?
I mean, we can if that's cool.
That's cool. I'm down.
So, Jason, me and Jason, growing up, we're three brothers, right? My mom and dad both worked 12-hour shifts at one point in the factory. So you got three boys in the house, by themselves.
Oh God.
all day after school, so until sports or whatever. But anyways, we fought a lot. It would be more so me protecting Jason from Troy, and then me taking shit out on Jason. So, but anyways, as he got older, around because he quit football and he started doing MMA. I continued to play football. I ended up going to college, whatever.
Yeah.
I come back and I don't know. We got into it for something. He pissed me off for something. I was probably drinking or something. I don't know. He pissed me off. I hit him, and then he double legs me, and then he ends up just managing the distance. And obviously, I didn't know any of this at the time. And then he's like in a reverse heel hook, which everybody knows now that is probably the most dangerous submission.
Yeah.
And I didn't know shit at that time. Jason has me in basically in the inside Zakaku position, and he has a reverse heel hook. And I didn't now thinking about it. Like when I think about it now, he could have fucked me up. But
yeah, dude, that's dangerous as shit.
he didn't crank on it, so that's how I know. I guess he likes me. but I start kicking him in his face. You know what I mean? Kicking him in his face. But anyways, after that, pretty much I thought about it. I'm like, damn, man, he could have really fucked me up. So I end up going in. I end up training, going into training. I've just been doing it ever since.
That's dope. So I'm gonna make sure I got this right, or if I understood right. You were basically like a prodigy, dude, because you had only been training like 3 years when you won ADCC.
Yeah. Joe came up to me, and Warren at the time, the owner of the gym, they came up to me, and Joe was like, "Man, we think you can win it." So I was like, all right. I haven't because a lot of people think that I've competed a lot. I didn't. Even back then, I literally only probably competed 4 or 5 times in 3 years because I've had my kids are 11. I had kids before I started doing jiu-jitsu, and So I mean, I guess Jason was more so the prodigy. Everybody was focused on him, so we were focused on getting his MMA career going, and whenever that kind of came to an end, then they literally whenever Jason left and they told me they thought I could win trials, I just said, all right, cool, let's do it. And then it happened.
That's wild to think about. So we're getting Jason ready for it, and where you went to trials and won. After that, did you start trying to think to yourself, dude, I should do this more often? Or how did that? Was there a different dynamic on getting him ready and your own thing after that?
Well, Jason left at that time, so
he did.
He had stopped doing jiu-jitsu. We had a lot of personal things going on at our house. to where
Yeah.
Jason, where he had to move, he had to do something, so he ended up joining the military, and then after that's whenever we started, whenever I started, I guess coming out to where I won trials and stuff like that. So, but I mean, up towards that, man, we weren't training for nothing specific. We were just doing right. We were just rolling, just rolling like usual, and hard training. But yeah.
When so you weren't getting ready for anything, would you say when you went to trials before up until that point you were just doing it like for fun, like you weren't even competitively or thinking in that competitive mindset?
Man, well, the training back then, Joe can attest for
Oh
that too. The training back
yeah.
then was totally different. It was a
I
rolling
heard
for two.
stories.
You're rolling for 2 hours, ripping each other off, getting hurt, whatever in training with not very smart training, but definitely had to do with the people excelling in it, anyways. But I mean, we were the methodology and the thought process back then. We was getting ready. We was always trying to stay ready.
Right.
That jujitsu or submission grappling, jujitsu is always we're ready to fight. Period. Which we try to do still. So, I mean, we were always getting ready for a tournament because we would compete whenever, and Joe loves competing. So,
Absolutely. But dude, I'm glad you brought up about, how the gym used to be. So, for anyone watching doesn't know, Nice Guy is kind of more run like a club, and stuff used to be a lot rougher back in the days.
yeah.
Uh, so okay, from going to transitioning from like Nice Guy to open up your own gym, how would you describe that transition from trying to run stuff like a club versus trying to run it more kind of like a business and trying to train smarter and kind of like how that was
Well, I
thought
mean,
about?
yeah. Well, like the thing is, I like as far as how I think about training and how we used to train at Nice Guy back then. I believe it has its time and its place, and I believe it's in the competition class. But
Absolutely.
if every one of our goal is to okay, everybody talks about jujitsu, and we try to get more people to do it. So the goal to get everybody to do it, it has to be for everybody. I know, like me, I'm the type of person I don't care. Like adversity hits me in the face, I'm gonna go right through it. Which is majority of the 3%ers, the guys that do compete, or anybody that wants to compete and continues to compete, like are very resilient people. Yourself, every I would consider everybody. So my thought process is, in order to get people there, we have to make them resilient first. So I just kind of took, or am taking, what we did back then, that training, and still trying to keep it, but trying to make sure that we have it at the right time. You know what I mean? Because I'm injured. I've been injured for a long time.
Yeah,
I've dealt with a lot of injuries, uh, like prior to jujitsu. So training smart's a big thing for me. And listening to your body, because me, Joe, he can attest for that too. You can. He would never listen to our body until we're in our 30s now. So now we're trying to handle it a little bit smarter. So I want anybody that gets into it to have a good little balance. So running that as a business was, I hated it at first. Uh, I hated it, but Travis down in Florida, man, like he's a good business partner. We've got a lot of good people behind us. I have a lot of good colleagues from Florida that have, uh, gave me some guidance, and I learned a lot being down in Florida as far as running the business, and seeing the things that I like about academies and seeing things that I don't like about academies. Not that they're right or wrong. It's just some things are. I like the atmosphere and everything to be how I want it to be, and
of course.
family oriented, all that good stuff. But it's been a process. So yeah, that's hopefully that answered your question. I ramble a lot.
No, you get it. It makes for a good show at least. So Travis is the one who runs down Florida. So you opened up Fish Hawk first, correct?
Yeah. That was a story as
Okay.
well. I mean, that wasn't the intent. Like I wasn't even included on that, but until till the end, till Travis kind of included me.
Um. Well, with that being said, how did you and Travis meet? What's the story there? Because you two are like brothers, dude. Like
Oh
just
yeah.
seeing you together is
If it was
awesome.
honestly, if it wasn't for Travis, none of this would be happening. He was. I mean, that's the thing, is like as far as my journey, which man, we're gonna be doing a lot of different things, like as far as within our gym, kind of like talking about the journey a little bit more,
Yeah.
but we'll do that through our podcast and stuff like that later. But everything's like just going crazy right now. But But like I met Travis whenever I moved to Florida after like I went to China, and I ended up moving to Florida. One thing led to another, and I was training, living in the gym. Uh, I was running out of money, and I was about to go home. And Travis at the time owned a lawn service, and I was doing private lessons with somebody, and we started mowing the guy's lawn, and then Travis kind of pitched the idea to the guy. I'll leave his name out, but he's amazing. But yeah, he ended up like pitching to open up a school where he lived and yada yada whatever. Anyways, I'm mowing the grass, and then they called me in there in the kitchen, and they're like, "Would you want to be a part of teaching at adults program?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" Because I was actually on the verge of going home. And
Yeah,
If Travis didn't off like tell me to go work with him and ask me, he told me I slept on his couch for a long time, lived in the gyms and slept in
yeah.
box springs and stuff for a long time, but yeah, if it wasn't for that man, none of this would be happening. As far as the gym that we got in Owensboro, the gym we got in Florida as well. So he's actually the real MVP. Well, his wife actually is because she dealt with us. Cassie's the MVP.
Man, they're all good people. I really enjoyed them down there, dude. And for anyone watching who doesn't know Travis or the group down there, to give you kind of perspective on what kind of people they are, man, I didn't even know them, man. When I went down to Florida, it was really cool for everyone down there to offer me a place to stay, to go down there for that seminar and stuff. And they were really hospitable and really welcoming. And definitely, if you're ever in the Florida area, go check them out and fish hawk. Um, with opening up your own gym and where you traveled and stuff, where did Tom come into play, and what made you decide that's who you wanted to go under?
So this is so like there's always politics in everything that you do. You know what I
For
mean? Whether
sure.
it's small or big or whatever. And you can't keep everybody happy. You know what I mean? And
Right.
at the time, since I was involved in a business, business had to come first because it's what fed me and Travis's family, or potentially
Absolutely.
because it took a while for anything to start going. Um, but like we were kind of like Ronin for a while because some stuff happened. People got into it. We had a bad business relationship. Things weren't being ran. Like as far as business lingo, we were all majority owners, and then one conflicted with the other, and just a lot of different things happened, and then we ended up having to separate, and it as a business, it was better for we were under Gracie Tampa then. As a
Yeah.
business, it was better for us to be competition at the time because we uh we uh we were having issues, just it was just in-house issues. So we had to kind of go because man, I had sacrificed 2 years of my life away from my family, and I wasn't about to just let it piss away. And
Right.
I kind of reached out. I reached because I like Sean Hammonds. You know what I mean. I reached out to him. I reached out to a bunch of different guys, and kind of seen their standpoint on it, and just because like there's a lot of different things, and I don't want to talk about belts and stuff, but
Right.
but like they didn't necessarily like some academies hand shit out, and I'm never going to be a part of watering down what we do ever. I subscribe to a lot of things in methodology and thought process that Tom does, and I believe that everybody can be a black belt, just like he says, but not everybody can be world class. But
Of course.
as a gym and as a gym owner and one of the instructors, like I believe that it's my responsibility as the owner and the instructor to make them a black belt or make them a blue belt, purple belt, whatever, have the tools set in place for them to be able to do it. So with that being said, I kind of liked Tom's post. Yeah, I mean, you see his post. I really kind of resonate with the man, and I feel like we share a lot of beliefs, a lot of just a lot of that, and just how he projected himself, and that kind of like gravitated me towards him. Like we reached out to him. Travis reached out to him. We talked about being underneath him, and because I think it's important to be a part of an organization that you believe in, and I'm not saying other organizations are wrong or whatever, but I feel like it's important that in your heart, in your stomach, in your gut, that you want to be there,
Absolutely.
and you believe in everything that they're doing, and you believe that it's things are genuine. Again, not saying anybody's not genuine, but it's up to the individual, you know, and it's how you feel, and that's, and I respect anybody's decision. So I mean, that's kind of why we went with Tom, and I love it. I love the organization. I love that man. Like, he inspires me, and I know he inspires a lot of other people. I know I'm kind of quiet. I don't post a lot or anything like that because I deal with my family and everything. But he's definitely a big inspiration.
Absolutely. Like you were going on about, dude, one thing I really enjoy about Tom, which, me and Joe haven't been with the association for long, but I really liked it because when Joe became in talks of coming under Tom, dude, Joe doesn't go more than a couple, very long at all without hearing from Tom. And I really like how he checks up on his people and sees how
Oh
they're
yeah.
doing. Yeah, like I said, genuine. And like,
Hmm.
there's not, you know what I mean? It's really heartwarming. Makes you feel good having someone that of that level to still check up on you and see how your progress is going, where you're at, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like I
no, for
said,
sure.
yeah. So you going back to your earlier point of you'll never hand out belts, no, like nothing like that. I feel like that comes into this, I like to call it savage mindset, because like I said, nothing in this thing is given. You got to earn your spot, earn your stuff, and I feel like there's certain stuff you might have to do to prove that. And going back to EBI, EBIA, I believe it was, dude, you cut like 30 pounds. Your
That
back was hurt.
was a rough time.
Just nobody else, like, you don't hear about people having that much stuff wrong with them and still going out there and competing. And you got that aspect going for you, and you also have the aspect of watching you compete. And Joe's got the same mindset as well. When it comes to when it comes at the end of the day, at the end of the match, you want to win by submission. You you don't enjoy winning on points, and you feel very I don't want to say let down, but it doesn't go your way if you don't finish by submission. If you finish by
Yeah,
points, and
100%.
I feel like and I feel like that goes all in that savage mindset that you're willing to do whatever it takes to put yourself out there, and especially from higher level shows and the stuff you want to do. And like, I know you've taken quite a few matches on short notice, and I know Joe's taken several on such short notice, and just like it goes back to not everyone could be a black belt, but not everyone's meant to be that type of black belt. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, no, I get it.
So, would you say that the type of training you've endured and with your journey, like, did that get embedded in your mind? Like, has that been what molded you, or do you feel like it's something you've kind of
Man, honestly,
what?
like as far as I've always been competitive, you know what I mean? I've always been competitive. As far as a lot of my thought processes towards training and competition, a lot of it comes from Joe. Like a lot of things that Joe kind of instilled in me and Jason as far as competition, man, like going for the submission and everything. I mean, a lot of those things is really kind of what drives me now. With training, with competition, with the belts and what we represent. Um, because I believe in what we do. I do
Absolutely.
I do love jujitsu. I love competition, you know, and I think it's important that, you know, we become resilient, you know, through training, and the only way to do that is hard training. And a lot of it comes from Joe. A lot of the you know, as far as with that aspect and really earning the belt, you know, and Joe's always told me you can't suck forever. You know, so that's always what he told me.
If you do, you're doing something wrong.
Oh
uh,
yeah.
so going back to some of your accomplishments, you've been to China and competed on. That is undeniably the most prestigious thing in jiu-jitsu, is to compete for ADCC, at all that stuff. Would you say, like, is it any different competing in a different country, or like even like the training going over to somewhere like that, or even like up in I think you said before that you've been up to Canada to Was it
Yeah.
compete? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Would you
went and
say,
competed in an exhibition. It wasn't competition. It was banned at the time. It was banned in Canada. So it was an exhibition. It was no competition.
well, as far as like competition wise, would you say it's different going to a different country and
Like now thinking about it, no. But
no?
back then I definitely was nervous about it. Going to China because I did go. I ended up going by myself because like different things led it to where nobody could go.
Yeah,
So I ended up going by myself. It was definitely different as far as like the time, like time and your body getting acclimated to the time difference was very different. Um, but like I was just nervous, nervous because I was like, oh, it was kind of settling in and seeing all the guys, like all the top level guys there, and you're like, what in the hell, you know what I mean? Uh,
absolutely.
so it was different in that sense, but like I tell our guys now when they're trying to compete and stuff, and everybody they ask like, well, what's how do you get over nerves or whatever? Obviously, you put yourself in there as much as you can,
Right.
but you just got to remember that we're training the same way. It's no different. I, now I'd say my nerves are pretty much dead. I don't really think too much about it. But it was because of what it was. It definitely was different to me, and it was definitely nerve
Absolutely.
wracking. But I, I don't. I mean, the people in the jiu-jitsu community are just awesome. Um, for the most
100%.
part, for the most part, but I mean, everybody's respectful to especially to your face. But
Right.
but it's the jiu-jitsu community is awesome. It's when we're on the mat, we're on the mat. So hopefully that answers your question.
Oh man, you good. It does. Would you say like, can you kind of talk about the importance of your training environment and what kind of outcome can become of either A, putting yourself in a good environment, or B, putting yourself in a terrible environment?
I mean, the thing is, like I said earlier, it kind of goes back to the individual. Like if somebody like they might not see anything bad that if I don't like something, if I don't like how things are being ran, then I don't have to be there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I would definitely encourage anybody if they ever felt that way, just to go somewhere else. And it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It's some people are just like I don't. I mean, I accept people how they way they are, but if you don't like something, you don't like it. And that's it. But you shouldn't be being held back. Like I'm not like I've seen academies that kind of hold back people. They like as far as because the instructor doesn't necessarily know anything more, and they have that black belt syndrome where they want to make sure that they're the best in their academy, which in return holds everybody back, which also in return holds back the black belt. So it makes no sense. Uh, but I'd say a good environment would just be an environment where you feel like you can learn, and that's like as long as you're learning, and as long as like knowledge is encouraged. Like I tell you guys, if you guys have a video that you watch technique, because I grew up. Whenever I say grow up, like I grew up in my jujitsu life. As long as I've been doing jujitsu, I've watched a lot of technique, a lot of video because like whenever I first started training with Joe was working. He still works in the coal mines. He was working in the coal mines. He was working, 2 weeks. He was on a swing shift. Sometimes he's on nights, sometimes he's on days. And he was my coach. So, uh, I had to resort to videos, and YouTube isn't what is now. It was back. It wasn't that way now. I mean, back then, the
Yeah.
BJJ fanatics wasn't a thing. There wasn't nothing. You had to read books, books of techniques. but but yeah, Joe is yeah,
Y'all
Joe.
sound so old when you say that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to me. I try not to sit over here and look at the past because like I'm trying to focus on a lot, everything. But whenever I
For
think
sure.
about like how times went by, it's been 10 years now, and then I'm like, damn, there's been a lot of shit that's happened. A lot of shit that's changed.
Absolutely. And so one thing I did want to kind of talk about is which I talked about in my last, I guess, show, whatever you want to call this. Either way, do you feel like as far as aspects on the old mindset versus new mindset, do you feel like there should be like one's better than the other, or there absolutely needs to be a happy balance, happy medium? as far as
You
like,
said, do I feel like one's better than the other? Is that what you said?
yeah, yeah,
I don't know, man. My thing is this. I feel like a lot of jiu-jitsu competitors, like, it revolves a lot around competition now. You know what I
uh
mean?
huh,
Like people really, especially now that it's kind of turned into a show. Um, I think people just revolve it way too much about about competition. Not like so. I like to if you train in our gym, I try to make it traditional too. I try to make sure that
absolutely,
we're touching touching base with the people that are coming in from the avenue of not knowing what jujitsu is. Uh, so I mean, I guess yes, there has to be a balance between the two, but it's my whole thing is about growth. Growth in general. Like myself, I want to be getting better. So everything that
absolutely,
I know, everything that I see as far as at the top end, and that works efficiently, I try to show to everybody in the gym. But we want to just make sure that we're not wasting time on the mat. I just feel like a lot of the way we used to train wasn't necessarily bad, but I don't feel like it was constructive. I felt like we definitely pushed our bodies, but we had we had no path. You know what I mean? Like we weren't necessarily training with a purpose. We were just training just to win. So we were rolling hard as fuck against each other. And I feel like if me and you train and I don't end up in a bad position or you don't end up in a bad position, then we both lost. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's like we got to be able to put ourselves into positions to grow. So, and if we don't feel those bad positions or things that we feel in competition, then we're not going to get any better in training. And I feel like back then training was just, oh, I love rolling, so I'm just going to roll. But everybody knows usually the things that you don't want to do are the things you need to do. So like I don't want to eat healthy every day and drink a gallon of water, but I need to. You know what I mean? And so I feel like yes, a balance does need to be there. But I definitely believe in hard training too. You know, um,
absolutely.
I don't believe in ripping our training partners off. Which, not saying we did that, a long time ago, even though we did, but it was never with the intent to hurt anybody. Although we did hurt each other.
Y'all just wanted to win, that's all.
Yeah, we were just trying to win.
um, so one thing I do kind of want to touch on and talk about is kind of like your, I guess, evolution, I would say, because you went, I feel like your career, or not even your career, but a good majority of what you're known for is leg locking people and being known as that leg locker versus now training with you, which, dude, I don't think I've probably seen you go for leg locks. Like you've taught them, taught quite a few, but as far as like rolling with you, you more of go for like strangles and stuff now, and you're trying to work from every position, trying to, like you said, growth. Um, do you feel like going and traveling to different gyms and bringing that back is kind of what caused that evolution, or is it just kind of looking back on it and saying, I wanted to do stuff differently, or kind of
I,
expand on that?
I would more so. I would say that it's more so because of everything, competition as well as like. I mean, like competitors are also they're they study the game. Like people are playing a game. When we're out and competing at the high end, those guys are playing a game. Although we do want to go for the submission, we're still playing a game. Like there is a point system. You got to be aware of what's going on. If you're not, then you could lose because of that. And that's a lot of like feel like the way me and Joe and even Jason, and even Drake, like the way we've rolled in the past, even though it's submission oriented, but we were very very one track minded on what we were doing, and not that that was bad because I go out on we go out on our shield. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Right.
We live by the sword, die by the sword, so to speak. But at the end, at the top end, that's not how guys are necessarily playing it. And in my head, if I want to, I don't want to just knock on the door of world class. You know what I mean? I want to be in the door. So
Absolutely.
so it's like I feel like studying everybody, watching matches and learning from my losses and going and cross training and seeing how other people train that it's kind of opened my mind to what I'm weak at, and I am a believer in working on what you're weak at, like and but kind of making sure that what you're good at's working, but really work on your weaknesses. Uh, I've had I've had a lot of injuries. My back's been hurt for a long time. I don't think people know that, and it's really changed my game, and I've kind of had to work around my injuries, which in return changed my game. Because like I tore my ACL, almost 2 years ago, and it 100% changed my game. Uh, and so my back, I can't invert as much, so I'm trying to roll healthier. Because like if I roll and just invert, then sometimes I can't walk because I have to have surgery. I'm just not going to do it yet.
Right.
Um, unless they're like, "Hey, Josh, you're not gonna be able to walk if you keep doing this, so whatever." So then I'll do it, but that's not the case. So I'll just continue to do what I'm doing. But I will try to train and compete, in my style of jiu-jitsu, just evolve around that. But it's statistics play a lot in it whenever I study and study people's game and just content and the top end guys and what submissions are working. Even though I believe in leg locks, I 100% do, and but it's like everybody's become hip to it. Everybody's kind of like DVDs are out. A lot of DVDs are out. Everybody's kind of studying them. But it's I feel like it has its time and a place, as far as, in competition, and you got to be smart about it. And there's a lot of things I used to do I don't do anymore because for one injuries, but also like from a statistics standpoint, I don't want to necessarily be in say 50-50 just because it's like I don't want a coin toss, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want that. That's not the odds that I want to be in. And then in return, if I'm in a better position, like not in a 50-50 position, I can end up transitioning to something else. So I've been really trying to carve that groove. And plus, whenever I go to Henzo's or whenever I went a few times and I just got smashed. You know what I mean? Which that we were, which is training, so which was awesome. That really exposed everything that I need to work on. But I like it. I love it. I like getting tapped, in training because that's what training's about.
Bringing up Penzos, but even Tom's too. Can you kind of
Yeah, Tom.
describe? Yeah. Can
God,
you kind of talk about those experiences? Because man, it's so cool that you got to be there, got to go to the blue basement and do all that.
man, Tom's got some monsters at his gym. Him included. I mean, man, like the network that I love the network we're part of, Tom's network, and I love it. And there's tons of good guys, and I love training with Tom. I know I haven't been able to do it much because just got a lot going on as far as
Right.
business wise, personal, everything. But yeah, training up there at Tom, man, that dude's a madman. He's a monster. Me and him went at it for a while. But it's awesome. I think it's awesome. I
Like you
love it.
said, dude, they got so many monsters, and like he said, even got like world champion girls up there. Like me and Joe are,
Mhm.
like we talked about, we're talking about going up there, and I can't wait to get smashed by them. Um, let's kind of talk about the new gym and kind of promote that a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
so actually even like so if anybody from our gym's even watching this, tonight in our so we got a private group for our members. So we
yeah,
are merging the two because like since this COVID shit, a lot of things been happening. Losing members, which understandably. Um,
right,
and so we're kind of merging our Florida group and everything, so we kind of like keep everybody together so everybody, just they know we're
gotcha.
here. And but so we'll be covering kind of like that tonight. But but so we moved. Like this COVID thing came at a terrible time for us. Like
Yeah,
everybody's doing the Zoom classes and stuff, and like we had got like our internet was down. We couldn't do anything. We had no mats down. I'm the only one besides my kids in my household doing jujitsu, and then like Shaniko is real like like she worries about it, so nobody come over. I can't go anywhere. Then I
yeah.
gotta sleep outside, which whatever I respect it. Um, so it's terrible timing, but we're moving. Hopefully, open up in June 1st. Hopefully, it just depends on construction and getting the plan set in place. But yeah, we're moving from 1,500 square feet to about 4,000. Uh, got a lot of mat, and that's
Absolutely.
gonna be awesome rolling in there. So yeah, we're moving. It's it's been growing. So
For sure.
yeah.
So, let's kind of talk about the programs we got going on because I know you say you were talking about adding in a women's only thing
Hmm.
too.
Yep.
Um, so is it going to be kind of like a 1 day a week type of thing for that, or
Well, so what we're going to be doing is because a lot of people in Owensboro can't come, or as far as where we're from, like where we live, that like they're not
yeah,
going to be able to come more than 2 to 3 days a week. And obviously we have our programs, and we obviously the more serious people are going to train more. Obviously, I would recommend anybody to train more than 3 days a week. But as far as like self defense purposes, I'd say if you're training a good hour for 2 to 3 days a week, you'll be fine. But we're going to be doing, yeah. So we'll have a women's only class. It'll be 2 days a week. It'll be separate, and obviously, they can hopefully go into like the co-ed kind of thing because I want it comfortable for everybody. That's the main thing. It's already hard enough to just say, all right, I'm going to go into this martial arts academy and learn jujitsu. You know what I mean? Just so I'm trying to make it as comfortable as possible. But we're going to be doing wrestling as well. We'll be having our striking program because we're going to start merging in MMA for everybody that wants to fight MMA. And so because we got the boxing ring, we got well,
yeah.
we're gonna be offering a bunch of different things to help, because man, Western Kentucky alone is produced like Joe being like he's Joe Bays, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, like,
Fuck Joe Bays. I'm kidding. Anyone watching? I'm kidding.
so like Kentucky has some of the best martial artists in the world, and jiu-jitsu practitioners, or whatever. So it's like I want to help create the opportunity for other people. The same thing it did for me, and yeah, so we'll see what happens when we reopen.
Dude, that's so cool though that you said you want to offer that opportunity because I mean, for anyone just starting out, it used to be a thing of you had to go out and find this stuff, and it was
Mhm.
super hard, especially if you didn't have the time or the money. Versus now, it's just ready and available to you, and like you're gone, but the instructionals are ready. Just it's crazy how much it's evolved.
Yeah, it is real cool. I mean it's crazy. It's cool. I'm just glad to be a part of it. Really, that's it.
Absolutely. So I know when you were first starting to compete and trying to open up your own gym and still stay active in the competition scene, I'm sure it was super hard to balance teaching and training for those competitions. For anyone who say an upper belt's watching this or wanting to eventually go kind of the same route, what kind of advice have you got for that? Or kind of want to talk about that just a little bit?
Uh, yeah. So the thing is with teaching, man, I believe that, which I think a lot of people believe this too, but I believe that, if you're able to convey what you really know what you're talking about, and then you could really kind of slow down everything that you're doing and you're just carving the groove and just making it even better. So, uh, teaching and training, it is a hard thing to do, especially whenever, you're doing it all the time. So, but we have a lot of people now. I love teaching. I honestly, like I've been teaching more than I have been training. Um, and but because I do it for everybody, in our gym, and I want everybody to fuck me up. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole goal. Um, but I mean, I study a lot. I watch a lot of video. I don't think there's a time where I'm not, watching any content because just getting those mental reps. But I mean, going over the basics, that's a big thing. As far as that's how I feel, anyways, is that we don't need to know 10,000 moves. We just need to have a systematic approach, like what we're gonna do in a particular situation. So, teaching it and then doing it is what you got to do. That's
I
how I
mean,
feel.
you've
I don't know.
you've talked about too. When you teach, you see more detail. So I do. I'm sure like we said, we've talked about it. You feel like that helps you with attention to detail and like the minor things that can make huge changes.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, because you might be there's things that I teach like because we operate on a curriculum basis as far as fundamentals,
Yeah.
uh, and then we just try to be systematic on as far as advanced. But like there's things that I go over that I do different because I do everything that I teach. I don't ever show anything that I don't do. Now, whether it's in competition is a different story, but live rolling, is different because in the competition, we got five, say it's 6 minute round. I'm trying to sub this dude in 6 minutes, so I'm going to take the opportunities, as they pop up. Now, rolling, it's a little different because I don't necessarily take everything. Take everything that I might be working on something specific, passing the guard, whatever the case is. Um, but I don't even know if I answered that question.
I think you did. I think you did.
Yeah, Shaniko yelled my name, and then it threw me off. Don't yell at me,
It's all
Brittany.
good. I yell at you if I want to, sir. No respect. One thing I really like about you is I do feel like everyone can be good, but I do feel like not everyone's meant to be a teacher. And just watching you with the kids, and even with some adults who might have other problems going on, I feel like you know how to hit with everyone, like how to get them to understand and comprehend and catch on quick. And I feel like not everyone has that ability.
Cool.
So,
I'm glad you feel that way because I don't. I'm usually nervous as shit teaching, to be honest. Oh.
dude, I'm slower than a freaking snail when it comes to learning. So, like, for you to have the patience, I really appreciate that. But with that being said, do you absolutely feel like to get a black belt, you need to be able to teach?
Not necessarily, but I feel
Not
like
necessarily.
I feel like everybody should have. If you're a practitioner and you want to get a black belt, my thing is this. The way I look at it this way, I just look at my kids. I'm like, can I convey what I know to my kids? If I can't, then I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then what good is what I know? You know what I'm saying? Like I can protect my kids because I mean that might be a little bit too primal with it, but it's a martial art, and I
Right.
do believe in it as far as self defense. I believe in firearms too, but when it comes to hand to hand combat, I definitely believe in jujitsu. And if I can't teach my kids, even if your kids don't do something, they don't train in an academy, and you're a blue belt, you can teach your kids the shit you're learning, and then you're gonna
Absolutely.
you're gonna know you're gonna learn more, and you pass it to your kids, and then your kids indirectly thank you when they choke a bully out. You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. So if you're a practitioner, in my opinion, and you don't have any ambition to teach, I'm not saying you have to instruct, but I think that you should at least be able to convey it to your kids. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
that's just how I feel about it. Because if I can't convey what I know to my kids and help them be able to protect themselves and their family, then what am I doing? That's just how I feel, But I don't think
Yeah.
everybody has to be able to teach. But I think they should have the mindset about jujitsu that okay, all right, I do need to, because it's not just defending yourself. You got to defend your family, and the best way to defend your family is educate your family. You know, that,
Absolutely.
as far as as far as what I think. So
When you put it like that, it makes perfect sense. And like, I'm glad you kind of said about like the primal stuff because I really don't think people, especially like newcomers and like beginners, they don't understand how savage this used to really be. Because if you go
yeah.
back to like when I started in Brazil, Brazilians used to kick the doors down of other gyms and just beat the shit
Oh
out of the
yeah,
instructors just to prove it. And it's like,
yeah. It
you
was
want to
real.
say this is
Yeah, no, it was real. Yeah, people defend it. They defend the flag of jujitsu and like the history of it, man. Like you look at it, man. The people were fighting. Like it was, fuck you pretty much if you didn't. Yeah, you know. But yeah, it definitely was a way more savage. And like people that think they're, it might sound cliche or whatever, think they're tough because they do jujitsu. Like most people, some of these people like didn't give a fuck before they did jujitsu. You know what I mean? And
right.
if you get hit in the face, I mean, I've been hit in the face. I've been, whatever. Like it's never really bothered me. But I know some people it will. You know.
Absolutely.
So I just some people just don't forget that the origins of this was self defense and it was proven in the street. So
Yeah.
that's my thing, and I don't forget that. That's why I respect everybody. I respect
Absolutely.
every practitioner, every person. But like just because you do jujitsu don't mean shit.
With that being said, and going into, it's for self defense, do you feel like to be able to defend yourself smartly, you should train more than just jiu-jitsu, or do you feel like jiu-jitsu's enough?
Well, I mean, as far as jujitsu, it's like it's virtually it's MMA. You know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
obviously we don't like in the streets. You know what I mean? Statistics, statistics say that it's going to end up on the ground anyways. But jujitsu practitioners, anybody that teaches self defense, they don't teach you to go and look for confrontation. You know what I mean? Everybody's taught to kind of avoid it. So if it did get into where you're trying to avoid it, you try to avoid it until you can't. You know what I mean? Pretty much you avoid it until somebody attacks you. You never kind of like engage in it intentionally. And then some people do that. A lot of practitioners do. But uh, I think that jiu-jitsu is enough, because like the confidence goes a long way. The stuff that you learn
Yeah.
in jiu-jitsu, like the confidence and like I said before, the resilience that you gain from being on the mat and being in bad positions and getting tapped out and just kind of like I don't know. There's people that are claustrophobic that tap as soon as people get mount, but then later on they're full mounted. Like full mount, they got double underhooks smashing this person that was claustrophobic. You know what I mean? So I just feel like the conditioning you get from it, just training it, I feel like you're good to go. Now, obviously, you a lot of practitioners I feel like don't know self defense jiu-jitsu. Like you got to at least know it. You got to know the do's and don'ts because you don't need much jiu-jitsu in a street fight. You don't need
Right.
much of it at all. You don't need X guard. You don't need reverse De La Riva. You don't need that shit. You know. Uh, but people just need to just train. I feel like training jiu-jitsu is safe. It's a lot safer than taking shots to the head. Although I do believe in striking. I believe in all
Yep.
that. But for majority of people, I definitely would recommend jiu-jitsu. And then if you get a grasp of that, get a grasp of the fundamentals of striking too. But I don't particularly want to hurt people. If I ever had to defend myself, I don't want to hurt anybody. And I know that punching somebody, no matter what, is going to hurt somebody, whether it's their face or my fist. I don't really want that to happen at all. So, but that's why jujitsu, I put somebody to sleep, lay them down, and I'm leaving, whatever. You know what I mean? Or I can break their arm, whatever, which I wouldn't want to do either, if that makes any sense.
No, it does for sure. Last thing I kind of want to talk about before we, I guess, hop off here is um. See, dude, I done lost my train of thought. Hail.
Doesn't surprise me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Fuck,
You're good.
fucking white belts.
You're not even
Uh,
a white belt. Hush.
shut up.
You're COVID
Um,
blue.
COVID blue. That doesn't count. Just kidding. Oh yeah. Okay. So going back to what you were saying about people getting them out and freaking out because claustrophobia and stuff. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that jiu-jitsu can help with like a lot of mental illnesses or even physical
Yeah.
uh handy capabilities. I think that's the term I'm looking
I'm
for.
not sure of the word, but I know what you mean.
But for example, when Nice Guys moved to Evansville, which if anyone watching doesn't know, that's now an hour and 15 minutes from me and Joe. So we kind of had to come up with a different training route for because that's kind of far drive, especially Joe and I both work third shift. So Joe got in touch with you, Josh, and got messaging back and forth. And I remember at the time Joe had pulled his groin, and he had told me, he was like, well, Josh said he can come in this night and we train. And I remember thinking, I was like, cool, if Joe's going to go with me, we'll be fine.
Oh yeah, you went in by yourself.
Yeah, I got ready to leave. I was like, you ready? And he's laying in bed. He's like, what do you mean I'm ready? You're going alone. I was like, oh. And I remember pulling up to the gym and seeing all the cars. I was like, oh, this ain't that bad. I can do this. I can do this. Dude, I walked in and opened up the door, seen so many people. So many people and all the little kids running around. And I was just like, oh, turn around, turn around. And I was literally getting ready to get my bag and leave. And, you come up to me and introduce yourself and shook my hand. And everyone that night was just so nice and kept make sure I got rolls in. And I feel like there's a lot more people at the gym who had that similar experience, and even newcomers who are like, dude, I almost walked away.
Oh man, there's so many people that are members now that have pulled
Yeah.
into the parking lot, then just left. you
Yeah, I've
know,
heard some of the
yeah,
stories.
yeah. There's a lot of people do that. I mean, I was the type of person that didn't want to do jiu-jitsu or train, a nice guy back then until I was in shape, and like I was that guy.
Yeah,
And then I just said, fuck it. And I just went in, and yeah, yeah, it's whenever being around, even if it's not jujitsu, but being around, a community of people that support you and that are, have the hospitality and that, are just encouraging, like no matter what, like what job you have or how old you are. um, I think that's important, and a lot of, I feel like every gym has that to offer to people, uh, but to each his own. You know what I mean? Like people gravitate towards whatever community or people they gravitate towards. But I feel like that alone, man, definitely helps with anxiety, 100%. Uh, and like I've because dealing with depression, everybody talks about
right.
depression and stuff, and even addiction. Uh, because there's people that just decide to get addicted to this as opposed to other things,
Yep.
which makes sense. So
Well, and
it's crazy.
don't we even have some students with like they're on like the spectrum as far as like
Yeah,
autism?
like
See,
yeah. There's I think there were studies. I think even in Florida we were trying to do something with get some EVPs into evidence based practices into jujitsu and autism, where we were trying to at one point. I don't remember really what happened with it, but yeah, there's we have a lot of feedback, good feedback with that too. Because we handle things systematically. We've had a few kids that were bullied and because of them either being autistic or mildly autistic, high function, whatever the case is. That's kind of really excelled, and they're like our best students. You know what I mean? Like being bullied or even having autism. We have some crazy success stories with that. It's kind of cool. And I'm just glad that jiu-jitsu can pretty much offer that all over, everywhere. So it's cool.
absolutely. And I feel like it just goes to show that jiu-jitsu really is for everyone.
No, I agree. I agree it is. I mean, not everybody's going to be able to love it like that,
Right,
but there's a lot to learn from it.
for sure. But man, I really do appreciate you coming on talking to me today and just for all the insight. Especially taking time out of your COVID little 19 break.
Yeah. I wasn't doing anything but playing video games. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, fucking loser. Kidding. But man, that's I think that's gonna be all for today. And like I said, thanks, Josh.
No problem. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Peace out, bro.
Peace.